Hey everyone, James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2020 Back Battles. Today we're going to be using the Obstagoon team once again with Obstagoon, Mimikyu, the Darmanitan Galarian form. We have Corviknight, we got Rotom Heat, and we got Gashadon. So it's really hard coming up with like a pun for this team. So yeah, it's actually really tough. So not even gonna try. I was thinking maybe like putting on like maybe a cap or something and then calling it a disguise with like maybe one of those fake mustaches and stuff like that, but that would be pretty hard. So let's get started, play some games with this team, and we'll see how it goes. So in the last episode, we also used this team and it did pretty well. Obstagoon was able to put in some work, which I'm very happy about, and let's just continue on. This is the second to last episode with this team, and we also have a common question for today as usual. So today's common question is going to be, do you travel? And like, do you travel and do you travel frequently? So I haven't really been much of a traveling person. I have traveled a few times here and there, but I felt like last year, 2019, was the year I probably traveled the most, mainly just because of, I was going to all these Pokemon events because of like this day 2 race. And yeah, I ended up getting to see a lot of new places, so that was really cool. Went to different countries I never really got to explore before, and yeah, it was just super interesting. We have a first opponent here with the Butterfree, the Dusclops, the Rhyperior, Indeedee, Chandelure, and the Darmanitan Galarian form. So I hate Butterfree, but we're fine with Butterfree with this team, thankfully. Yeah. Okay, audio was clipping because for some reason Steam wanted to open up on my computer. I have no idea why. I don't even use Steam that much. Let's see here. I really like the... what do I like here as a lead? I like the Mimikyu lead with the Corviknight lead. I have Lumberry on the Corviknight, so I'm kind of okay. Yeah, I like the Mimikyu Corviknight lead. I like Obstagoon because it can hit the Dusclops pretty effectively, and I like the Gashadon on the back. I don't really like Rotom Heat too much, and Darmanitan doesn't really do much damage-wise. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I should be fine against the Darmanitan, I think. This is going to be interesting here. So, I feel like I have pretty good tools to deal with my opponent's team, because I can go for, like, the Max Fairy into the... Butterfree prevent me from sleeping, and I have Taunt on my Corviknight, so I can taunt the Trick Room user. We're going to see the Indeedee plus the Butterfree, which is an interesting combination. Psychic Surge is going to activate, which is fine here. I'm going to go for a Taunt because there is a Sleep Powder potential from my opponent's side. Maybe a Rage Powder, but that would be okay, I think. So I am going to Dynamax here, go for the Max Starfall into that Butterfree slot, bring it down to a Focus Sash, and I will go for the Taunt into the Butterfree slot. If you don't click Rage Powder, it's fine. If you're Scarf Sleep Powder, that's okay too, because of the fact that I have Lumberry on the Corviknight. I don't have it on the Mimikyu, and I'm hoping that Mimikyu will outspeed the Butterfree. But yeah, let's see what's going to come out here. We will Dynamax, which is pretty early to Dynamax, but I feel like if I can deny Trick Room, I'm in a really good position, even if my opponent still has a Dynamax Pokemon in the back. Such as that Rhyperior, I think I could handle it. So, we'll bring out the Mimikyu here, Dynamax it, and yeah, let's go for that Max Fairy and see how much we can do here. So, let's see. Okay, no Rage Powder, so I am going to be able to get the Taunt off. Maybe it's Mental Herb on the Indeedee. It's a Focus Sash on the Butterfree, which is perfectly fine. And let's see what my opponent's going to do here. So it's going to be the Sleep Powder most likely into one of my slots. Gonna be that Sleep Powder. Yep, it targets down the Corviknight, but I do have that Lumberry that I do hold. So really good. I am prepared for Butterfree this time around with multiple tools to handle the Butterfree, and we will go for that Taunt into the Indeedee slot. So let's see if it's a Mental Herb or not. If it's Mental Herb, that's a problem. If it's not, we're in a good spot. Actually just goes for a Psychic to break my disguise, so my opponent probably anticipating the Taunt. Good play from my opponent, but I think overall this is still pretty good for me because like I'm denying the Trick Room. Nothing really wants to switch into a Max Ghost into the Butterfree slot, so I will go for a Max Ghost into that slot and follow up with a Iron Head, I think, or Brave Bird. I'd rather go Iron Head here into that slot because of the fact that it'll be a -1 defense, so I'll do a decent amount of damage with Iron Head. So we'll see how this goes. I'm thinking maybe a switch from the Indeedee. Could go for a Psychic Stay in, maybe Mystical Fire, but that wouldn't really do anything to me. I feel like momentum wise, other than a bit of chip damage, yet I don't feel like it's super important for anything currently. And yeah, we're in a pretty good spot here with that Indeedee taunted. It could have been better just to go for Iron Head there, but of course I wasn't sure my opponent would anticipate the taunt. I'm going to save Dynamax for my opponent, so that might be the Indeedee slot, which is actually quite fascinating here. Luckily, there's no Psychic Terrain. We've got rid of the Psychic Terrain with our Pokemon, and wow, it is actually going to be that Indeedee Dynamaxing here, so that is really fascinating. It is going to take a -1 defense to my Max Ghost, which means my Obstagoon will probably be able to knock it out with Knockoff after I get an Iron Head off. Knockout the Butterfree, which is good. Lower that defense. Goodbye, Butterfree. And we're going to see what... Maybe it's Max Flare coming out instead. Ironhead going to do a good amount of damage, actually. That was more than I expected. Max Mindstorm. Okay. So resetting the terrain. Okay. Don't know if the terrain's really too valuable. I mean, I don't think there was anything that was really going to be burnt here unless I went for a Scald Burn. Yet that's not what I was really aiming for. I mean, we're in a perfectly fine position right now. Indeedee might go down to Max Fairy here, which is also pretty big. We're going to see what comes out. It's going to be the Darmanitan. Ooh, okay. Are they both the same base power? No, I go for Max Starfall into Darmanitan, and I always go for the Iron Head into that slot as well. Because that Pokemon's a threat. If I can get a Darmanitan, that's pretty good. And it looks like my opponent maybe didn't opt for a Trick Room. It's slow, Darmanitan. It's slower than my Mimikyu. It's not Choice Scarf, at least. I'm able to obliterate the Darmanitan, set up the Misty Terrain again. That's pretty good, because getting rid of Darmanitan was definitely a huge threat to me. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. So, Darmanitan goes down. We're going to get an Iron Head again into the Indeedee. Do a nice amount of damage. Brave Bird will probably knock it out afterward. We're going to see another Max Mindstorm into the Mimikyu, which will pick up the knockout. But Mimikyu, you have done a ton of work in this game, being able to eliminate the Darmanitan as well as set up the Misty Terrain. That was helpful earlier, so Butterfree couldn't Sleep Powder any of my other slots. And yeah, we can now go out into my Obstagoon here, or I can go to my Gastrodon. I'm going to go Obstagoon first, and I think I can get a knockoff or Parting Shot into whatever wants to come out here. So bring out the Obstagoon against the Chandelure. Alright. Yeah, so Gastrodon should have this sealed up in the back if I play this right. I want to go for Parting Shot in the Chandelure, so I live any attack with Corviknight, and Brave Bird would be able to knock out the Indeedee. And I kind of like that play, because I have no idea what kind of Chandelure this is. So Parting Shot I think is my safest play, because it could be a Cobra Berry Chandelure. We saw the Focus Sash on Butterfree, so it's very likely I think that it could be like something like a Cobra Berry from the Chandelure slot. I get to bring on my Gastrodon. And yeah, I think Obstagoon can win, and I want to lower that damage output from the Chandelure, because it's the thing that does the most damage to my Obstagoon. So we're going to see Flamethrower come out, probably into the Corviknight slot. Oh, it's actually into the Obstagoon slot, which is good too. Nice. Oh, it's Life Orb Chandelure. Okay, so I didn't have to worry about it, I guess. I think Knockoff would have just KO'd. But we're able to knock out the Indeedee. Critical hit I don't think mattered. Iron Head was doing about a third of its HP during Dynamax anyway. And Brave Bird's like 1.5 times stronger than Iron Head. So yeah, we're able to knock that Pokemon out, and yeah, we're looking pretty good because Gastrodon should be able to seal up the Chandelure. We'll be able to get a double knockout here. I think I probably go down to Life Orb Flamethrower even at -1, but like Obstagoon cleans up in the back, it outspeeds the Chandelure, and yeah, that match is going to be forfeit. So a really interesting Pokemon choice for my opponent. My opponent really didn't bring like the hard Trick Room stuff, unless maybe the Darmanitan was slow. And the fact is my opponent decided to Dynamax Indeedee, trying to value the Psychic Terrain. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it really helped in the end because I was just able to, you know, eliminate. I was just able to deny Trick Room. I was able to just power through, and I don't think my opponent was expecting the taunt. So the Rage Powder there was really helpful, or maybe he expected the taunt, but like I had a Lumberry on Corviknight, which really helped in that match. So we'll see what my next opponent is. Alex here. In the top 5,000, we're going to see another hard Trick Room team with Torkoal this time, which makes it a bit more difficult to handle. I don't think I can really go the same thing again because there is an Indeedee with Follow Me this time. So this could be a bit problematic here. What do I want to go? Rotom Heat's not good. I want to go Obstagoon Mimikyu, I think, this time, because I get to knock off the Indeedee slot. Force it to go for anything else. I can Swords Dance with the Mimikyu immediately. Yeah, I like that. Bring out the Corviknight in the back, and I think Gastrodon. This is going to be a really tough game. Hard Trickham's always really annoying. I think Gastrodon does well here, but I do have to watch out for the Snorlax, which is the main concern I think about the team. And I'm going to have to like really, like at least with Obstagoon, I have big knockoff pressure against my opponent because my opponent does not like switching to knockoff because losing items is very, very important here in this matchup. So let's see what my opponent's going to do. It's going to be the Indeedee Dracovish lead, huh? Out of any lead I could say I could expect my opponent to lead, that was not what I expected. So we're going to see the Indeedee bring out with the Psychic Surge. I mean, you know I have a Gastrodon as a switch-in, right? I have no idea what this lead's supposed to do. I mean, I think the safest play is always just to go for the knockoff into Indeedee and switch hard in a Gastrodon. I'm not sure what my opponent's strategy is right now. My opponent could predict my Gastrodon switch, but I don't know what you really get momentum-wise. Yeah, and I don't want to knock out the Dracovish since I do think it's Choice Band, and if it locks itself in the Fish's Rend, I'm in a really good spot. So I will see what my opponent decides to do here. But yeah, I'm not exactly too sure like what this lead is supposed to signify. Leech Life doesn't get boosted by Strong Jaws, I believe, which is nice. Here comes the Gastrodon. It locks itself in the Fish's Rend, okay. And it does confirm to be Choice Scarf on the Dracovish, so we're in a really good spot turn one. This knockoff going to come out, bring it down to a Focus Sash knocked off. Reflect going to go up, okay. Which is fine. I do want to knock out the Dracovish since I do have a very high suspicion it will be switching out here. So I am going to go for an Earth Power into that slot. Or should I Scald? What were my opponent's potential Pokemon? I'm going to Scald actually. Scald makes sense. I could get a Burn too, and Corviknight could be the Pokemon that comes out. I will knock off and Scald that slot. Yeah, and I'm thinking we're in a really good position because Dracovish either going to give me another special attack boost if it stays in or has to switch out, which it does switch out. Corviknight's going to come out, which is good. Let's see if there's an attack from the Indeedee. No Follow Me, so I do drop that Corviknight's item. Going to be a Solvest Corviknight. Interesting. Psychic going to come out into my Gastrodon slot, doing a good amount of damage, but +1 Scald going to come out into the Corviknight. Okay amount of damage. We do get the burn though, so pretty fortunate, which is really good here. Nice. I wonder what my opponent's last Pokemon is, because you can't have a Trick Room user plus a Snorlax in the back, which is really interesting here. So I'm going to knock off the Indeedee slot and might as well just recover the damage off because, you know, keeping Gastrodon healthy is really important in this game. And yeah, I definitely want to do that. So get rid of the Indeedee right here with that knockoff. So Indeedee will be forced to faint here. Let's see what the Corviknight does. Facade. Ooh. Into the Gastrodon. But even Facade doesn't do too much damage. It's not a stab. It might be a 140 base power, but it's still weaker than, let's say, a Brave Bird into the Gastrodon if it was at neutral. So Gastrodon able to tank that and to recover off all that health. And now we're in a very good spot here because we keep our Gastrodon alive. And yeah, that was not exactly the move I was expecting. Facade. I was expecting Brave Bird, Iron Head. You obviously have the, what's it called? Body Press. And then the last move, I guess it could be Facade. I don't know what else Corviknight would run. Snorlax is on the field. You know I'm going for the hard knockoff into that slot. And, I feel like I should save my Gastrodon. I'm just going to protect with Gastrodon. Because if I save Gastrodon, the Dracovish can't lock in the Fish's Rend, or if it locks in the Fish's Rend, I can always trap it. So I feel like I didn't want like Snorlax to Dynamax, for instance, and go for that. So that's the reason why. So I'll knock off the Berry on the Snorlax so it can't Belly Drum anymore. That did less than I thought. Jeez. Body Press going to come out. Good target from the Corviknight. That still did a lot, even through the burn. Belly Drum is going to come out from the Snorlax, though, which is fine. Because you don't recover the Berry even if you get the Gigantamax off. Because I knocked it off and it didn't heal anything. So yeah, we're in a pretty good spot. I can just go for a Parting Shot into the Snorlax here. And go out into my Mimikyu actually. Because I think this covers a lot of plays. Like the G-Max move into the Gastrodon slot, and I think a body press into the Corviknight slot. I could have also went for the Obstruct, but I think Corviknight wants to get in here because I think it's a pretty good situation for Corviknight to do some work. We're going to see that Gigantamax, it looks like, from the Snorlax. Yep. You can't recover Berry if you're knocked off. Like, I'm pretty confident you can't. Snorlax being very low here. But, let's give you a parting shot, my friend. Let's see. It's going to be a +5 Snorlax, but it's not a big deal here. We're going to retreat our Obstagoon, go out into our Corviknight here, because Corviknight will be able to eat up any attack that comes out from my opponent. I think you have to target down the Gastrodon slot with the Snorlax. We're going to see Facade come out into the Mimikyu slot, and G-Max Replenish going to come out into the Mimikyu slot. So, ooh boy. Yeah, that was not exactly good for my opponent. Reflect also wears off. Oh, that's why the knockoff did like nothing to the Snorlax. Okay. But we're fine here. I just double up the Snorlax slot. The Corviknight's not really much of a threat here. And yeah. We are in a very good position to take this game. The battle's going to be forfeit. My opponent does realize that it's very, very unlikely that you can come after that position because of the fact that a double up in Snorlax is free. Even if you max guard, you only have one more turn of Dynamax, and you aren't going to be able to knock out the Gastrodon if I can knock out the Snorlax. And that Snorlax was in prime range to get knocked out. I still had my Disguise on Mimikyu, so my opponent couldn't target down the Mimikyu and knock it out at the same turn. So yeah, that's the main reason. And yeah, Obstagoon doing more work. Very, very happy. Obliterating 2 Trick Room teams today. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2020 Back to Battles. That was actually a pretty short episode, but that's what happens when Trick Room cannot be accomplished for my opponent. My opponent's never even set up Trick Room. The first team was a Trick Room team, and you know, we denied the Trick Room, and then like there wasn't really much my opponent could do. Even though my opponent brought non-Trick Room mons, it didn't really help that since I was still faster with Mimikyu. Then the second game, my opponent didn't even opt for Trick Room. Brought like Dracovish plus Indeedee, but we were completely fine against that. Gastrodon was able to come in. We were able to knock off pretty much every item, which was very valuable. We got a good Scald Burn into the Corviknight, but that was super helpful as well. Wouldn't have been like a game-losing situation if I didn't get the Scald Burn, because it looked like I still would have led the Body Press anyway from the Corviknight with my Obstagoon. But like, yeah, Obstagoon knocking off the berries, pretty good work. Hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2020 Back to Battles. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below, show support, as well as you can leave a comment down below and share this video with your friends. You can also check out my social medias down below alongside the placement of this team if you do want to go try it out on Showdown. Otherwise, you can go an extra mile support me if you want to with my Patreon page and my Twitch channel, linked in the description down below. Thank you to everyone who's been tuning in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.